For more on the challenges presented by Russia, we are joined by Timothy Fry from Columbia University. Mr. Fry, thanks for being with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Vice President-elect Joe Biden famously said a few weeks ago that the Obama administration would face a severe challenge in its first 6 months in office. So does what we've hear today from Russia represent that kind of challenge?
I don't think it represents a short-term challenge that we'll see in the next 6 months. I think Russia is a longer-term problem that President Obama is going to be dealing with for some time into the future. Russia sees itself now as back on the world stage. It sees itself as being a much wealthier country, a country that's more assertive, particularly in its own backyard. But I don't think we're going to see any kind of event similar to what we saw in Georgia on the world stage that will bring Russia and U.S. relations to the fore.
Well, and you bring up a good point, Georgia. You know, President Medvedev, again today, blamed what he said was unilateralism for the war in Georgia this past summer on the part of the United States and others. So how do you deal with that? How do you resolve that problem?
This is a theme that President Medvedev has been sounding out over the last 6 months. This is not new. And President Putin, Prime Minister Putin, first raised the issue that the U.S. might have inspired the Georgians, or at least goaded them into the shelling of Tsvinkali, which then the Russians responded in a very aggressive manner. I don't think that there's an easy solution to this problem. There's a big push within both the McCain camp and within the Obama camp to try to get Georgia into NATO. It's very difficult to see how that happens when Georgia's territorial integrity has been violated by Russia, and as long as there are Russian troops in Abkhazia and South Ossetia, it's difficult to see NATO members, particularly in Europe, being willing to take on the burden that would come from a potential conflict between Russia and Georgia that might in some way involve NATO forces.
There's so much else I'd love to ask you, but unfortunately time restricts us. Timothy Fry, thank you very much, talking about the new assertiveness of Russia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sure.